So here we go. This is my Go To Scrubbie pattern. I'm having to do a voiceover. I've had so many issues trying to record this video about these scratchies. These are our dish scrubbies slash scratchies that we use. It's a version of your Red Heart scrubby material. We use the Scrubby Sparkle. But this is kind of an off-brand that I use to make these, and they are very durable. As you see in this one, you can use multiple colors. It's a very simple pattern. The ridges are really nice on the hands to grab, but that's the only examples that I had at the time. They sell quite a bit. And they sell quite a bit. So I'm showing you here the surprise skeins that I order on Amazon. If you wanted to look up that code, you can. But yeah, once you get to buying them, you'll end up with a lot of spare colors around. So it helps to save all of that, and you can, make a really cool one with different colors if you wanted to. But that is just one that I pre-crocheted. As you can see the lines there. Those are the front post double crochet. And pretty much everything else is a regular crochet. And what I was just pointing out was the shell stitch. So we're going to go through supplies
material
here.
Red Heart calls it.
So to turn in your ends, but you want a pretty small needle, and I kept trying to zoom in, but it wouldn't work with me. But it's a 5 millimeter, a 5 millimeter needle. But you can see it there. But I would, actually the material says to go with a 4. You're also going to need some snips. And of course your sewing in tool. Whichever tool you like to use. I love these metal ones. Absolutely love them. I get those on Amazon too. I just order a big quantity of them, and they'll last a while because they disappear like crazy. But it's just a center circle, and then you're just dealing with double crochets, and then front post double crochets, and most of your shells are done in a double crochet, so it's pretty much just double crochet and then a front post double crochet. But you're going to start by getting a magic circle all ready and set up for you. So you're going to insert your needle inside that circle, wrap around, and pull through. And you've got your circle started that you will be able to adjust along the way. So first stitch is going to be a chain 3. As you see there, that's going to be number 1. You want to be sure to keep count and keep track of all of your stitches on this. If you're off on this inner circle, your ending shells are going to be off. So you need to make sure you start with the same amount and you do it evenly with both pieces. This is going to be 2 pieces put together. So just make sure you keep really good count on this first circle. But that is chain 1. So that's your first double crochet. And there's number 2. And number 3. And if it's a little too loose for you to handle, just go ahead and tighten it up a little bit like I did just there. So here's number 4. Oh, I went through the wrong thing there. I went through my adjusting. See how that happens? Just gotta keep everything tight and secure as much as you can, but still leave room for your other stitches. So I think that's number 5. And number 6. Number 7. Number 8. 9. 10. Let's redo 10 here. There's 10. 11 and 12. So there we go. We got 12. Go ahead and tighten up. The string is not the easiest string to work with. It's quite a bit different than just regular yarn. I'm working with the lighting. This red is a little hard to see. The black is insane, but they sell so quickly, but the black is absolutely insane. So I'm going to slip stitch in the space behind that chain 3. I'm slip stitching in the spaces. I am not fighting with trying to find that top stitch. just slip stitch right there behind that chain and you'll be fine. So we're going to get started on round 2. So this is round 2. You're going to do a regular double crochet and you're going to do a front post double crochet. So to keep it a circle, usually you would just do 2 double crochets. But here you're going to do 1 double crochet and a front post double crochet. And that's what's going to start the ridges. So as you see here, I'm going behind that original chain and I'm making a double crochet. So our first front post double crochet is done. These are really easy once you get the hang of it, especially being this easy going from the front. It's a lot easier. So now we can go into the top of that double crochet. Even the regular double crochets are somewhat hard to even get into. So the idea of just slip stitching behind that chain 3 is a godsend. But yeah, some of them are hard to find. It's always that first one after that magic circle, that first double crochet. Once you get through that, the rest are a lot easier. So my second set, there's my double crochet, and now I'm going behind it and doing the front post double crochet. So there's my second front post double crochet. Tighten up as you need to so everything stays in place. I'm going to go to number 3 here And just try to find that double crochet. Yeah, once you get through the first one, the other ones are easier. So there's a double crochet. Now we're going to go back behind that same stitch and do a front post double crochet. So yeah, once you get the hang of it, these are pretty easy. You're going to want to keep this magic circle a little loose, because if you keep it too tight, it's going to be a little complicated trying to going behind that stitch. You know, a little loose like I have it here is fine. You just don't want it to get too loose to where it just goes crazy and it's going all over the place. But double crochets or front post double crochets, you're just going behind the middle of that stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through. And that will start the ridges. But like I said, once you get going on this, the rest is easy peasy. And you're pretty much, for the whole length of this scratchy, more like a coaster material or a coaster style, this is all you're doing. You're just gonna do front post double crochets, and then however many regular double crochets that you need. So it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. You're just going to raise the amount of double crochets by 1. And your front post double crochet is where your increases would be in a regular double crochet coaster pattern. So it's pretty easy to keep track of it. Pretty easy. You just kind of keep lining.
I have to do voiceover, I'll do a voiceover.
Your increase.
But hopefully you guys have been able to hear me.
So it doesn't look
so here we go. We got that front post. I did just a regular double crochet there, so we need a front post on this one.
And it's easier to actually count the stitches because you just count them
between those that one's ridges. A little rough. Oh, we're almost at the end, y'all.
Yeah, some of those are a little
tricky. And we're going to count these
too tight. See what I mean?
Front posts and make sure we have the right amount.
It's kind of hard.
As you can see there, there's 2 more.
This first round of the front post. So.
There's 2 more stitches there.
And I like to keep things tight.
So let's go to this next one here.
If you keep this circle too tight, you're not going to be able to. I was showing where the last one is.
To our front post.
A little hard to see right where you get to the end.
Okay, and then the last one.
This is going to be the last.
And we should have 12.
There. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, don't forget that last one. They are so hard to see, y'all.
Okay.
So hard to see.
So we will
should have every stitch,
count
even
here.
The first chain made into a front post. And you can kind of tell.
I know, and that's kind of hard to see.
Close up.
Here. But this is better.
I'm going to count.
So we got 1, 2,
going through here, and
3,
I'm going to count
4,
these ridges
5,
and make sure I
6,
have 12. Because
7,
that's what we want to start
8,
the magic circle.
9, 10, 11, and 12. So we do have 12.
That, you know it's
so we are good to go.
Other one.
We are going to slip stitch, and like before, I just go behind.
Right here on the second row. And you can make absolutely sure that you got
and slip stitch.
And now we're just going to slip
stitch. Okay, so that is row 2 done.
That chain 3. You guys see that?
We want it to where we have 3 spaces
No issues.
between the
Can't hardly see it because of the
front
design
post
of the
double
material
crochet
of the
before we
yarn.
start
So
the
easy
shells.
peasy.
So let's
So
chain
now
3.
we're going to do a front post double
So that's going to
crochet
be
and
that first one.
2 regular
And then we're going to do a
crochets.
regular at the top of this. I
So
hope
our
you guys can
first
see
double
that.
crochet is
This
going to
front
be a
post
chain
double
3,
crochet.
and then we're going to go into
We're
the
going to go in
top
at the
of that
top and
front
do a
post
regular
double
crochet first. Because this
We're
is
going to go
our
at the very top of it.
double
It's a
stitch.
really easy stitch.
And then
to,
we're going to go back behind
and you're going to do a
that front
regular
post.
double crochet. And
once you get onto row 3,
you're going to
these
do a
front posts are so much easier to do, it seems.
From the row before.
It's just getting to that point.
Now you've got 3.
So there's
this is our third
1.
row. So every third one, we are going to do a front post
2
double crochet. And you will see that regular
and front post double crochet 3.
And then you'll see the front post. Do a regular
and there's
double
the second
crochet,
one.
and then
And keep on going.
A front post double crochet.
1,
the very same stitch.
2,
and there you go. There's your 3.
And 3. And those front post double crochets are going to stick out,
so yeah,
and you can start seeing the rows
1, 2,
of the front post.
And then your front post.
So it makes it easier.
That's how I keep my count.
Make sure you're hitting the right stitch.
But these are a lot easier
1,
to
2,
keep track of the count.
and a front
you
post.
don't have to go back at your stitches and actually count and see where you actually did your increase. With these ridges, it's just self-explanatory. You know, you can see where
like I was talking about earlier, these sell so well. I usually sell these 2 for $8 or $5 each. Some people will buy
shells, we want to have
4 or 6
regular double
or even 5 at a time.
And
I will. If they buy 5, I'll just go ahead and give it to them for $20.
Because I want
yeah, you still have materials, but when people are willing, I went underneath that one.
Is where we're going to actually
when people are willing to buy that many of them,
start these
I usually like to try to give them
and then the single crochet
a good discount.
Is actually going to go into the
let's try that front post again here.
Of the ridges.
I gotta have thread on my needle first.
We're after this one, I believe it's one more.
It's hard to talk, y'all. I'm so used to not talking while I'm crocheting.
And with those front post double crochets, and then we should be able to do the shells.
And there it is. Oh, that one didn't work out. We'll do it again here. And I think I gained too many threads on that one.
See this okay?
You guys see that?
If not,
so let's go ahead and take that one out too and redo it.
I'm in a lighter color. I did not think this through at all. I just knew this is something I was being led to.
And I don't want
I went underneath that stitch.
all of that, and I just want the top of that stitch. There we go.
It just leaves too much of a gap. But yeah, just play with it.
Now, let's try this front post here.
And make sure you get through just those 2.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, almost done.
There you go. Now you won't have a big gap.
But these are pretty easy, and these also make great gifts, y'all. Everybody loves them.
You'll be able to see that from a mile away. I know.
Even people that do work for me, even the guys, you know, get you some guy colors.
We most definitely would. We are a great.
They like them too. I do not recommend the black. I've had the black before, and oh my gosh. You think this red is hard to see?
On my left hand.
That black is insane.
And I will, that
so hard to see.
Of my pointer finger.
Did not like this, but I'm telling you what, those were the first ones that sold.
I've had to actually...
and I had a big old Tupperware container just full of scratchies in.
But it can get a little
Those
rough.
were gone, like,
That's why I
immediately.
usually only
So,
do about one at a time.
here I am trying to talk.
If my
Can't
finger's showing
crochet.
okay, I'll go ahead and try for another one.
Okay, I
But
think we're down to the last one.
it's usually just one at a time, because this material will really scratch up that finger you're using to
There we
draw
go.
at the thread to your needle from.
Alright, and that front post. Well, there we go.
But Red Heart
All
has
right.
gotten so expensive.
There's that row.
Oh, which is why I
All
started
done.
going through Amazon
Let's
and
slip
started looking
stitch
at those
behind that
cheaper
chain.
brands and off brands.
And there we
And
go.
I'm like, well, I guess I'll never know until I try
And
it.
as you see here from the
I was
post,
sold.
we have
It's
one,
pretty
two.
much the same
So
thing.
this next row is going to be our last
As you
row
see here,
before we
just slip
start
stitched
our shells. And we'll
on
be right
row
back.
3, back behind that first chain.
Okay, time for row number
And
4. We've done 3.
That we got 2 stitches in
You
between
can see the
each front
ridges.
post, and we need 3
So
to
we've
be
done
able
3
to
rows.
do the shell.
So chain 3.
So we're going to do this last row.
It's number 1.
Of the regular
You can
front
see
post
it
double
right
crochet
there.
increases around. But we're going to
So
go up
there's
to 4.
2.
So right here is chain 1,
3.
our first chain, which is our
And
first
that's
double
where
crochet. We're going to go into that
is.
second double crochet. This is going to be number 2.
So the 4th one on this row is
and
always going to be your
the
front
top
post.
Of that front post double crochet
double
is going to be 3
crochet.
And then we're going to front post double crochet.
And the reason why we do this is because I want 3 to pick from to do my shell. I want an odd number so I can pick that center one to start my shell.
So now
and then the front post is where I'm going to do my single crochet to make that shell look around the edge. So let's keep on going here.
3 double crochets and then 1 front post double crochet.
2.
And this makes it to where I'll be able to go to the
3.
The middle of those double crochets
and our front post.
And make a really uniform shell stitch all the way around. I like it to be even.
1.
So here's the second one.
2.
For number row 4.
3.
But these are really neat how they
and a front post
work out.
So I'm going to go ahead and pause it and finish this row and we'll come back. Okay, so here we go. The last one on row number 4.
But you just keep following those ridges and you know that's where you're going to put.
So there's 1.
Your next front post double crochet.
2.
So I fast forwarded. Now we're to the end of the square 4.
And
so here's our last one.
4.
So there's 1.
Will be that last front
2,
post.
3.
And there we go.
And that's that last front post.
There is 4 rows.
So we're going to do another.
And before I slip stitch, I just normally just go right into that second stitch.
And there is row 4.
So as you can see here,
is all done.
Try to make it to where you can see we've got 1.
And before 2, I do my stitch, I'm going to tighten up that circle.
3, and then the front post.
And we are going to go to that second.
We want to start with that second
stitch. So you're not going to go to the top
second
of that
one.
chain 3.
And that's actually what I'm going to slip stitch to. It closes
double crochet
this gap quite a bit and squishes that chain
which is going to be that middle
more closer.
Stitch.
But as you can see, that chain, that top stitch is right there. And so the second one would be right there.
Skip over that chain 3.
And that's what we want to go into.
Go into the second one and slip stitch. And this
so
is
I'm going to slip stitch.
Start my first shell.
And we're going to start our chain. And since there's 4 different spaces,
remember to go into the middle stitch.
I do the
front post
4, so we're going to do
ridges.
2.
And it's going to be your second.
And then we're going to do a chain.
There's going to be 3 in between.
And then 2 more, and then we're going to do a single crochet in these channels.
Sides. You're not going to have a wonky
so there's 1.
Shell.
And you're just going to go
So
into that same stitch
nice and even.
there, as you guys can see. So we did 2 of them. So chain 1.
But were those front post double crochets is where your
that one didn't work out very well.
Single crochet is gonna go. And I haven't made one in a while.
Okay, there's our first one.
I'm trying to make a shell stitch.
And we're going to slip into that top of that front post.
But you will see me take.
And we're going to do a single crochet.
But you actually.
And there's our first
4
shell there.
Double crochets. And then you're going to single crochet.
So we are going to keep on going. And I think I just told you guys wrong. I'm so used to doing shells for other stuff. There is no chain stitch in between there. I am so used to, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's the single crochet into it. So we're going to go back here.
And see, I'm showing that other one.
So there's our chain. And you're just going to do 4 double crochets to equal.
It's amazing how it messes up your brain
that 4 stitch shell.
To do something on camera.
So just 4
So as you see,
regular double crochets.
I'm going
and
back
then you're
going to
go into the top of that
and I'm going to redo
front post double crochet and do a single crochet.
Double crochets, your chain 3 counts as your first
Now
one.
we're going to yarn over.
And then
we want to find that second stitch.
Crochet
and there it is.
The top of the ridge.
So that's the one
front post double crochet
we want.
Now we're going to go to the second stitch. You can see there's 3 there.
2.
We're going to go into the second one. And that's where we'll start our next shell.
And, well,
so there's
4.
1.
Then we're going to single crochet
2,
in that front post.
3.
And there's 2 of them. There's 2 shells.
And then you're just going to single crochet
and then there's that one that we need to go in.
Post double crochet.
You just find the middle one.
And there you go. There's 2 shells.
Easy peasy. 2, 3.
Do another one here. Just pick
4.
that middle stitch. And you're going to do 4.
And single crochet in that front
crochet.
Post. But I'm going to go ahead and pause it and go all the way around to the end, and we'll be back. Okay, so now we're ready to do the last shell.
Single crochet at the top.
Looking pretty.
Double crochet.
So yarn over. We're going to go through that second stitch there.
So just keep going all around. And as you see, I'm at the end of these shells. Look cute.
2.
So fancy.
3.
So last shell. Like all the others,
4.
you're just going to go through that second double crochet. And
then, like before, we're going to go to that front post and do a single crochet.
And then do your 4 double crochet.
And watch out that
Sometimes
you don't catch this right here.
That other side there.
I'm going to tighten it up a little bit.
Sometimes you may have to bend it down.
And we're going to slip
do the
stitch
single crochet and
that first one there.
Top of the ridge. Sometimes I can do it without having to move. Sometimes I can't.
I can get it pushed through all the way.
And then you're just going to slip stitch.
There we go. We got it.
At the top.
So let's.
Of that first double crochet.
Oh, she's tight. Let's slip stitch if we can.
Yeah, the top of those chain 3s.
No, I've never had
that step.
So many issues with one pattern.
If I can find any way around it, I usually
recording it.
It's not the most easiest stitch to.
So there we go. We're going to leave this in here.
You can see here.
I'm just going to pull out my needle so I leave a loop so I don't lose anything.
She's giving me a
and now we're going to go through and sew in.
So there we go.
The center circle.
This one
here.
and the other
So I'm
one
going to
are
pull it
almost
tight.
ready to sew together.
And get my yarning
when I
needle.
put these together, like I said, they're 2-layered earlier in the video.
Get that through there.
And I just really do a single crochet.
And you need to make sure what direction it's going. As you can see, it's going this way.
Here I'm going to sew in.
So we want to keep following it.
My ends here.
So I'm just going to go through.
And it's really
that
easy.
very
Just make
circle
sure you're going the right direction.
Are double crochets. And this is going to make this center circle
is coming out.
really
and
secure.
I'm showing you the direction
where but just keep weaving through.
And that's the direction we're going to
go. Those first double crochets and tightening as you go.
And we're just going to go through those first little
and it will be very, very tight.
In that magic circle.
Very secure.
And it just makes the circle
as you can see, it's pretty easy.
Sharper and
to hide the stitches
here. That's
how
I've always sewed in. Even if you're using
I want to make sure
yarn,
I go
it
past
just hides so well. You can't
that first stitch here.
You can't even tell that you sewed anything
to really just seal it up. I'm going to do one more.
Sometimes I'll just go
just to be absolutely sure it doesn't come loose.
Sometimes to be just absolutely sure it doesn't come apart, I'll go 3 times, you know.
Get my snips here.
Whatever you're comfortable with. And plus it closes up that starting one. So it kind of hides it a little bit.
And she's ready to go. Now we are ready
you don't see a gap
to sew. Crochet.
Get your snips once you're done.
Into this one. As you see, this is the
as you can get.
Back side. You can kind of see where the back side of those are.
Now
those front posts.
Ready
and then here you can tell
to crochet these together.
This is the front. So all we're going to do, this is what we want to see, is these front posts. So we're going to make sure we match these up.
But that's the back side of your front post double crochets. And then the front,
are they looking like they're the same? Yes.
Ridges.
So we want this side.
Is going to be the exterior of our scratchy.
And we want this side.
Want both of them to have
and we want these two crocheted together. Y'all, this is the last bit.
I'm fitting those together.
So let's pull this tight.
Fine.
And we are into that first double crochet.
But yeah, that's frustrating.
So when we lift this one up, we're going to find
and then
the back side.
You're just off a couple of stitches.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry about it. But
we're going to find the back side.
If it's a full shell, you're just going to have to
go
that
first
back and
double crochet. You see, this is single crochet. There's the first one.
But you're just going to have
I have to separate them.
The first double crochet
at first, and then once we get
shells. It doesn't really matter where you start.
More together, this is a lot easier. But I want to make sure I have those stitches. So we are going to
the first double crochet of that
really just slip stitch, and it's going to count as our first,
whichever one it is,
single crochet. We're going to find the next one.
This is a little tricky at first, but you're just going to, we're just slip stitching through the other side is what we're doing.
That's 4, that's 3, so number 2 is right there.
Our first single crochet. And then on the one
I know this is hard.
Side, we're going to go through the double
I almost want to back up because I can't see it if I do.
And then find the second
but there's a single crochet. Now let's go to number 3.
Hold it up to my face so I can see it better.
So there's that one.
It gets a little easier.
We need to be sure
the further
here.
along you go.
Once we get the used to it.
The looser you can keep the stitches and have it looking normal, the better.
The last one is the easiest to find. It just really finds it. Let me try zooming out for you guys.
And the fourth one is really easy and
see if that's easier.
But it's the loosest. So
I don't know if it is.
It's just those other ones that are a little tricky. But just a regular single crochet through
single
each
crochet,
stitch, connecting the two.
And then we're going to find that single crochet on both of them.
I was trying to get it to where you could see it better.
There we we go. And single crochet.
Now so there's the first crochets.
Little flap put together with single crochets.
Than the regular
so we're just going to keep going.
Shells, so you can usually find them.
You can kind of feel them, but sometimes you have to.
It's really complicated with this dark color.
Lift up, and I'm having to reach around my camera, so I'm sorry.
I tighten it up. Once I get that single
and just try to find
the 2 single crochets, I like to tighten
the best
it up.
that you can.
Makes the shells sharper.
So even if you have to separate them,
in the stitch
because your needle doesn't want to go through,
wait until you're doing this ending.
Just keep going.
Single crocheting them together before you start
There's
tightening
number
your stitches
2.
like that. But it just makes it more
3.
sharper and cleaner to tighten up that single crochet through the 2 single crochets. Makes it look nice and neat.
And the last one.
I am one of those tight crocheters.
This one is always
it's one of my things.
Loosest, which makes it so easy to find. Then we're going to find our single crochets. Yeah, some of these are pretty tight. I probably shouldn't crochet so tight. These would be easier. Oh, there we go. So we've got 2 put together so far. So this goes along a little fast. You just have to pay attention and hold it closer to your eyes. So I'm going to do the rest of these while off camera. And then we'll do the last one and I'll show you guys the hook. Okay, so we are almost done here. Almost done with the edging. As you see, that's our last shells we're going to put together. And she will be closed up. So here we go. Let's find this first one. Hope y'all can see this, because these take a little bit to find and get into. So there's 1. And 2. 3. Ah, I almost had a boo-boo there, y'all. Let's just pull that back out. Get back in there. Alright. Where there's a will, there's a way, y'all. So there's 3. And then we have 1 more in that last one. Let's go through there. And through there. A single crochet. And then this one here. The single crochet on both sides. We are going to slip stitch it. And we're going to do a chain to do the hook. So as you can see here. And this sometimes takes quite a bit. Just find a spot to go through sometimes when it's too tough, it's too tight. And just yarn over. And slip stitch. There we go. We finished her. Okay, now we're going to do a chain, and this is going to be for the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I used to just do 10. But as you see, this makes a much better area. So we got a chain of 12. All we're going to do is go back into that stitch. Go back in there. And we are going to slip stitch it close. And it kind of wants to stick out, so just work with it here. So let's cut our string here. Get this out of the way here. Sorry, this camera advertised being very sturdy. I'm not sure if it's sturdy. So we're going to tie that closed. And there we go. And you could make a bigger hoop. I usually just go with a 12. You could do a 14 also, but it looks really neat, especially when it's in line with these front posts. It just looks really, really neat. Now we're going to sew this, and you can tell it's not very solid right there. But once we get to sewing it shut, we're going to push all that together so it won't feel like there's a hole there. I don't know about you, but I pay attention to that picky stuff when I create something. I don't want someone to be like, did she make a hole here or what? So we're just going to find the other part of that hook and then just keep running through anything. And this is double lined. So you could go just completely behind if you wanted to. But I'm really just trying to connect these stitches on both sides together. See how that one stitch brought it all together? So I'm just going to keep going back and forth, trying to make this secure as I can. And like I said, don't worry about your ends. You're double lined here, so I got plenty of hiding room. And there we go. And you'll already be able to tell the difference when you go from one side of that front post to the other side. And see, that's much more thicker there. So there we go. It was a pretty hard color to do this demonstration, but we got her done. I absolutely love these. I'm not even sure where I got this pattern from. It's been years ago. And actually, this is usually my go-to for pot holders. And please excuse this. This is filthy. But if you can tell, there's the inner circle. And then there's the front post. But this is wore out. I have had this probably 4 or 5 years. But this is where I picked up this pattern. And I need to make another one of these. But this is, I think it's a pot holder pattern, but I absolutely love it for scratchies. It's my go-to. Everybody loves them. I sell numerous ones every single year. They are amazing. They're sturdy. You can throw these in the wash so people won't have mold or mildew growing on the inside. You know, throw it in the wash if you think it's pretty filthy and stuff has fallen in, and you're good to go. These are so reusable, and they make great gifts. Absolute great gifts. So I hope you all enjoyed this. And yeah, my Go To Scrubbie.